Good morning, everybody out there in internet land. Happy Thursday. It's good to see everybody on the Zoom today. If you are in a good mood and you are present consciously, put a one in the chat box. Let's see who we got here that's paying attention this morning. Sabrina, Michelle, Value Maker, there's Eric E, Chantel, Cynthia Maxey. Okay, there's a few of you guys paying attention. I absolutely love that. I think that's important too. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Eric Carter. I'm a diamond in the company. I started this journey with Vital Health about 4 months ago, and I've been excited since the first day. I've been excited because for me, this company checks off all the boxes for me. For me, this industry checks off all the boxes for me. So today I want to talk to you guys about some things I think going back to some of the basics. Some of the basics, 'cause I think that's important. If we focus on recruiting, if we focus on team building, we got to focus on the basics. And when I was talking to one of my guys just yesterday, maybe today's Thursday, Tuesday. On Tuesday, he was saying, he said, there's people out there that just don't know what to do. They jump on the Zooms, they get excited. They see the information and they do the wrong things. They say all the wrong stuff to all the right people because they don't know what they're doing. And I reflected on that the other day. And the first thing I always try to reflect on is myself. Like, am I conveying the message I want people to receive the right way? Am I being authentic in my delivery of the information? I'm always wondering how I can improve. And then it dawned on me that it's really about, if you're trying to recruit, it really becomes about who you are and oftentimes who people think you are. So we're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm going to need you guys to let me know that my technology is working the way it's supposed to. And if not, put something in the chat box to let me know. But I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Excellent. Can everybody see that? Okay. Excellent. I love it. So what makes you who you are? What makes anything who they appear to be? Like, you know what a cat is, you know what a dog is, right? But what is it that makes anything that we understand to be the thing that we understand it to be? We can define that by using the word brand. Everything has a brand. Now, we always talk about, when I come on here, it's like, what makes the great great? Well, today is not what makes the great great. It's about what makes a brand a brand. According to Forbes, and again, for those of you guys taking notes, it's going to be great. We're going to be on here today about 19 minutes and 19 seconds. What, according to Forbes, a brand is, it says, put simply, your brand is what your prospect thinks of when he or she hears your brand. It's everything that the public thinks it knows about your name, your brand offering, both factual, like it comes in a Robin's Egg blue box. We all know what that is, ladies. And emotional. It's romantic. But the brand is really a big deal. It's who are you? Which is not quite the same as who do you think you are? It's not even quite the same as who do others think you are. So we'll dig into that, and I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. This is going to be kind of a class participation, if you will, because I really want people to get it, because it comes down to your ability to recruit oftentimes, right? So inside the chat box, write one word to describe this brand. When you see it, what's the one word that comes to mind for you? Some people are saying healthy. Some people are saying security. Some people are saying innovation. Some people are saying tech. Some people are saying cult. I get it. Some people are saying phone, right? So you got one company, one logo, one brand, but across the spectrum of the people who are on this Zoom today, you have different ideas, different thoughts, and different perceptions about this particular brand when you see it. Now, let's do the same thing with this company. Think of the one word that comes to mind when you see this company. Poison, cancer, death, Coke, life, stability, acid, poison, classic, death. Man, you guys are really being hard on Coca-Cola. Really being hard on Coca-Cola. For those of you guys in Atlanta that got families been working for Coca-Cola, I feel sorry for you. Because the people on this healthy journey that we're doing in vital health don't appreciate what you've been doing to our people for so long. Rust and gross and sugar. Megan says she wished that it was diet. Everybody's looking at this and they have emotions that come from it. They have thoughts that come from it. They have experiences that come from it. Some people might want a glass. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You don't drink coffee. You start off your morning with Coca-Cola. It's funny. I remember being in the service way back when. I'm not going to tell you how long ago, but it's been more than 30 years. And I was reading about a story, but when they introduced Coca-Cola to Russia. When they introduced Coca-Cola to Russia, the Russians started drinking it and they spit it out. They was like, it's the most horrible thing in the world. It tastes like battery acid. And they were wondering why Americans were so excited about it, why they were drinking it. And they said, man, if those Americans could drink battery acid every single day, sometimes 3 or 4 cans of the stuff every single day, they must be built like Superman. They must be invincible. The fact was, when they got their Coca-Cola, they didn't know that Americans drink it refrigerated. They were drinking it hot. And for those of you guys that ever wrapped your mouth around a bottle of cold or Coca-Cola, you know it's a vastly different experience than wrapping your mouth around a hot bottle of Coca-Cola. It's different. But it gave them a certain perception. Kimberly says Coke is literally killing your sister. She's completely addicted and you hate that with a passion. We have S-balance people with sugar addictions, by the way. What about when you see this brand? I know sometimes as you're driving up and down the highway, you see this blue and you don't even have to see the words on it. You know what it is. Some people say security. Some people say wood. One woman said they took all their money. The price is going up and up and up, according to Gendrati. Look at this. Everybody has a different perception of Lowe's. Now, let's throw a wrench in what we're talking about this morning. When you see this word, when you see this company, what's the one word that comes to mind when you see this one? If I see anything negative inside the chat box, guys, we're going to have a fight. I promise you, we're going to have a fight. So I see it. Joy, health, vitality, wellness, health, inspiring, miracle, hope, health, stability. Keep them coming. Miraculous, money. Gendrati, I know it's your first time ever seeing. I appreciate you being on the Zoom this morning. But I want to tell you that this company, just like all companies, they value their brand. Because they know some of you guys are going to have an experience related to it. They want it to be a positive experience. They spend millions of dollars sometimes on think tanks and on focus groups, trying to find out what colors they should use, what language should be wrapped around it, what their names should be, how that name should be represented when it goes to another country, because sometimes even the name means something different if you said it in a different language. When you start to get compliance letters from corporate because you put a post up on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube about how much money you're making, about how it cured your cancer or how it made your feet quit smelling or made you smarter, when you start putting those things on there, to protect this brand, compliance will often send you an email. And they say, hey, we know you're excited about how much money you're earning over there. We know you're excited about the results you're getting from the product, but you have to tone it down a little bit because we want this brand that's currently in development, that's currently becoming a household name. We want to protect this brand, and they don't want any muckety mucks like us messing it up, right? They don't want to mess up this opportunity for other people. So we protect these every company protects its brand, but we especially have to because of the industry we're in network marketing. Daniel West, he's always on here giving us information about how we need to be compliant. And I'll tell you guys that what may be compliant this year may not be compliant next year. And what was compliant 5 years ago may not be compliant today. You see, when you have a brand, it becomes the one thing that defines you. It becomes the one thing that defines you. And whether you know it or not, you are a brand. Now, I'm not going to ask you to put one word in the chat box when you see this picture because I don't want to read what some of y'all think about me. It's not that I don't care, but it's too early in the morning for that. So I'm not going to be trying to defend myself in front of a few hundred people that's on this Zoom. But I want you guys to look at that and understand that when you look at that picture, when you look at me, when you hear me, some people say an encyclopedia, wise men, inspiring leaders. Look, I appreciate all those. I appreciate that. I love the way you guys lie. I think it's phenomenal. Just keep that up. But I didn't develop this brand overnight. And just like with Coca-Cola, just like with Apple, just like with Lowe's, some people have a positive view of my brand and some people do not have a positive view of my brand. Some people have a positive view of your brand and may not. So I'll tell you, when I try to look at, my brand, I go through a series of questionnaires like, am I conveying the message that I want people to understand and believe and trust about me? Do I want people to see that? And if I want them to see that, what is it I don't want them to see? How do I protect my brand as vigorously as Daniel West and our compliance department protect this brand? You see, Snoop Dogg got sued by, I think it was Post Cereal, because he came out with Snoop Loops. He came out with Snoop Loops and it was too close to Fruit Loops. The colors, the language, and Post Cereal sued the heck out of him, trying to protect that brand. Your brand is extremely important to you, extremely important. So I'll tell you, I remember listening to a seminar one day, and the guy said, you know what, the reason why you can't recruit your mom, the reason why you can't recruit your dad into this business, because nobody that ever wiped your nose and wiped your butt wants to hear financial advice from you. They have a different view of your brand than others do. Your siblings remember you when you weren't working hard. Your siblings remember you when you were lazy. Your siblings remember you when you were out there smoking dope and running the streets. They remember all of that stuff. And so now you're walking to them, knocking on the door, saying, hey, look, I got an idea for us to make $1 million. And they're looking at you like you got 3 eyes, and they're saying, I'm not going to join you in that business. And they're not saying it because they're looking at the business independently and separately from you. They're looking at the business through you. It's very, very important that you protect your brand. Very, very important to protect your brand. So what brand do you have? Everybody's brand is different. I'll give you an example. You've often heard me do trainings, and I say that we don't own people. People in this business, because we're in the people business, can go anywhere they want to go. They can join with any leader at any time, with the exception of cross recruiting, things like that. They don't have to join your business. Most of you guys have a favorable opinion of me, but what you don't know is that there's people that I talked to about Vital Health 4 months ago that said, no, Eric, I'm not going to join that business, that are now in this business and they joined under somebody else, right? I don't take that as personal. I take that as an opportunity for me to develop my brand. What did they see in that person to make them want to join them that they didn't see in me, that didn't make them want to join me? Well, your brand is who you are. Are you a nurturing type of leader? Right? Are you a diligent type of leader? Can they expect to match your work ethic? Can they match your expectations? Can you match their expectations? Is it a good fit? If they partner with you, is it a better fit for them to be successful and get their dreams fulfilled joining you than if they join somebody else's? You see, this business ain't really about you, right? It's really about them. So even when you're recruiting people, you need to recruit people through the eyes of how this business can help them. When you heard me speak, train last Saturday before last, I was talking about how important it is to make sure that when you're conveying the message, that you're conveying the message through the eyes of what they need, not what's important to you. You may think, well, I need to recruit this person so I can make enough money so that I can retire my mom because she's worked so hard. She's taken really, really good care of me. And that becomes part of your why, but that's not how you recruit other people. That's designed to keep you going. You listen to people, and if you're listening to people, they will often tell you how to recruit them. They'll often tell you how to recruit them. Maybe they need to retire their wife. Maybe they need to retire their mom. Maybe they need to put their kids through college. Maybe they don't have a retirement plan, but you recruit people through what they need versus what you need. And if you do that, you're listening, right? You're learning, and you're an attentive coach. You're an attentive leader. Those types of things help you to develop your brand as a person. When you look at Daniel West, his brand, the way you perceive him is vastly different than how you perceive me. And I don't mean the obvious difference, like me being much better looking than he is. I mean more like along the lines of he comes from, when he trains, he speaks and trains from corporate. He speaks and trains from academia. When you look at Daniel West, that's what you expect from him. When I look at Brooke and when I look at David's brand, I look at the epitome of physical fitness. When I heard that Brooke went to a restaurant one time and got angry at David because he ordered a glass of water, so instead she had Uber Eats deliver a bottle of water to a restaurant so she can have better water for him. I said, man, they are the epitome of physical fitness and nutrition. That is their brand. When we tell you to be the product of the product, like show yourself posting yourself exercising, show yourself using the products, show yourself feeling better, right? Give testimonials on your Facebook page about how much better you feel. That becomes part of your brand, and your brand is so important. People spend millions of dollars, companies spend billions of dollars trying to protect their brand, and you have to spend more time becoming a brand that people respect if you want to recruit people successfully. Maybe you want to be known as being a great father. Maybe you want to be known as being a great teacher. Maybe you want to be known as being a great student. Maybe you want to be just better at who you've been, and you want to develop your brand across those lines. You become a brand whether you know it or not. There's people out there that will never join you, that will join somebody else. And no, you can't become all things to all people, but you can begin to define yourself and become stronger in that part of you that you want people to view you through. Great father, great mother, great leader, great coach, compassionate business developer, whatever it is you want your brand to be, you need to focus on that. When I say focus on it, there's millions of dollars of training that you can discover, and I'm not going to keep you long, like I said, 19 minutes and 19 seconds, but I might go a little bit longer than that today. There's different types of ways that you can build your brand. Your personality is just one part of your brand, by the way. The way you dress, your personal grooming, your style, that's all part of your brand. Now you have like internal personalities and external personalities. You've also got order types and change types. This is the reason why you can't appeal to every single person, why you might lose somebody who don't join your business, they join somebody else's business, or they join somebody else's opportunity, or they join some other leader. Oftentimes it's because what they're looking for, you're not it. You don't have to change it, but understand it's how you view you, and it's how they view you, and it's how others view you, right? So you have things like the internal personality type, which is the jester, the magician, the sage. the wise people or the caregivers or the regular guy, the hero, the person that always jumps in and saves other people. These different types of personality types, and there's different tests you can go out there and take and find out what it is for you. That's not the important part. The important part is that whatever your brand is today, maybe your brand, and I think I can say this because we're all adults here, maybe your brand sucks. The good news is that you don't have to have a sucky brand forever. You can develop a brand. You can develop new relationships. You can develop new skill sets. You can become better at those things. You can become more competent in other things, right? You can be more sincere to the point that you get to be known for your sincerity. You seem warm. You seem honest and genuine. Man, there's people out here that I could put a name by each one of these numbers, and you'll all say, she is very, very sincere when I talk to her, or authentic. There's people, if I type their name in for number 2, excitement, they're energetic, they're vengeance and spirited. All of you guys say, that person is absolutely full of excitement. Or competent, reliable, intelligent, and successful, or sophisticated, elegant, refined, and luxurious, or rugged, strong, tough, and outdoorsy. If I put certain names inside that chat box, all of you guys will absolutely go say, you know what, that person is this type of person. There's one word that comes to mind when I think about that person, when I see that person, when I talk to that person, there's one word that comes to mind based upon these, and you would probably all agree from the top leaders, because those top leaders have developed their brand over years and their messaging is always consistent. So I'm going to leave you guys with this today. Ask yourself who your brand is, what image you're passing off to other people, and then go to the people that you love and trust, and then go to the people that don't love you and don't trust you, and ask them how they see you. And if the way they see you is not the way you see yourself, you've got some work to do on the personal development side. But you can get better. I also want you guys, as you start thinking about these things, to go through your social media and start cleaning up all the crap that you don't want others to use as a filter to see you through if you're trying to make $1 million a year in this industry. I go to some of you guys' pages and I understand you're working on your algorithms, and I can tell the difference when you make a post to work on your algorithm and when you make a post because it's something that's personal to you, that's going to take away from your business. When I go through your Facebook pages, when I go through your Instagrams, when I go through your social media and I'm looking for different things to say, is the information that you're conveying to the people about how intelligent you are, how much of a leader you are, how great a coach you can be, how much you love other people. If I don't see that messaging coming across on your social media, your brand is not aligned with your goals. You don't have to spend billions of dollars like these companies. You don't need a Daniel West and a compliance team going through your page. You need to do this yourself. Go through your social media and ask yourself, is the information that you're passing on to other people the information that you want them to see, the lens that you want them to see you through? And if it's not, there's a button that says delete, 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 delete. I go onto some people's social media pages and I'm like, man, this is phenomenal stuff. And I want to join that person, right? I want to be friends with that person. I want that person to respect, honor, and love me because I respect that person. I want to be on the same page as that person. There's some people, guys, that maximize their brand, and there's some people that don't understand that they are a brand and they're living their lives by accident. Don't let that be you. Become intentional in the information that you give people about who you are if you're trying to attract people to your business. With that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to ask all of you guys, not ask, but I'm I'm gonna encourage all of you guys to take heed to the stuff that we just talked about, make notes, contact the people that you know, and see if the information that you want people to know about you is what they're actually getting from you. And if not, then you got some personal development to do, as do I. I'm not perfect. I'm a long way from it. There's people I respect in this industry. There's people I respect in this company that I got to do better at, that I have to become better at if I want my brand to match their brand. I got to put down the Mountain Dew if I want to match uh, David's and Brooks brand. I got to jump inside the personal development books if I want to match Keith's brand. If I want to attract a David and Brooke, I got to do certain things. If I want to attract a Keith, I got to do certain things. And if you all on this Zoom want to attract easy to your organization, to your team, there's certain things that you have to do to make yourself attractive to attract leaders. And with that, that's all I have, everybody. I want to encourage you guys to go out, take these notes, and do those things that you know need to be done to make yourself a better leader, coach, mentor in this business so that everybody can see it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time this morning.